Okay, so today we're going deep on something I think we can all relate to.
Yeah, definitely.
We're talking about short form video,
Hmm.
TikTok, Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, all that.
Right.
We're going to look at what it does to our brains.
How it changes the way we think and learn.
Exactly. And we're going to focus on how it affects maybe your English learning too.
All those things, we're going to unpack it all.
Yeah, our mission today is really to kind of help you understand what's going on up there
Right?
and give you some ideas and tips for how to actually use it all to your advantage.
Absolutely.
So let's start with what makes these videos so addictive.
What comes down to dopamine?
The dopamine.
Yeah, that feel-good chemical our brains release
Right.
when we experience something pleasurable or rewarding.
Like a little reward every time you swipe.
Exactly. And each time you see a new video,
Mm.
especially one that catches your eye,
Oh, yeah.
a little burst of dopamine.
And these platforms, they deliver those bursts so effectively.
Yeah, it's like they're engineered for it.
Right? Like you don't have to do much,
Minimal effort.
but you get maximum reward.
It's the low effort, high reward thing that our brains just love.
And it keeps us hooked.
Exactly. Our brains are wired to seek out that kind of easy reward.
And then before you know it, you're in that endless scroll.
The endless scroll.
It's like a trance.
Totally. And the algorithms are working behind the scenes too.
Right.
Learning what you like, what keeps you clicking and watching.
Like feeding you more of it.
Yeah, it creates this personalized loop of content.
It's hard to break free.
It really is. They've gotten so good at predicting what will keep us engaged.
And speaking of engagement, one thing that really stuck with me from the research
Yeah.
was that just 30 minutes
30
of
minutes.
scrolling through these videos
Wow.
can actually have a noticeable impact
Really?
on your ability to focus.
Just 30 minutes.
Yeah, just half an hour.
That's pretty remarkable.
It's kind of scary, actually, when you think about it.
It highlights how quickly our brains can adapt and become conditioned.
So then what happens when our brains get used to this kind of information overload?
Well, it starts to affect other areas of our lives.
Like when we try to concentrate on something else.
Right, like reading a book, studying, or practicing English.
It's like our brains are saying, this is boring.
Give me something faster, more stimulating.
Exactly. We're so used to those quick hits of information.
That anything requiring sustained focus feels like a chore.
It feels exhausting.
Yeah, it's a shift in our attentional bias.
Attentional bias.
Our brains start to prefer the easy, digestible stuff
The instant gratification stuff.
over the more demanding tasks that actually require deeper thinking.
And patience.
Oh yeah, patience is a big one.
Because learning English, for example, it's not a quick fix.
It takes time and consistent effort.
But these videos, they create this expectation of instant results.
Yeah, I should be fluent already.
Exactly. And when progress feels slow
It's easy to get discouraged.
and give up.
And it's not just about focus and patience.
Right.
It also affects our memory. Well, when you're watching a bunch of random short videos, the information is stored in a very fragmented way.
Fragmented,
Yeah, it's like bits and pieces scattered everywhere.
not connected.
Exactly. And that makes it hard to actually build a solid understanding of something.
Or remember details later on.
Right. And that's crucial for learning new vocabulary or grammar rules in English.
So basically, our brains are getting kind of rewired by all this.
In a way, yes.
Oh.
But the good news is we can take back control.
We can rewire it back.
Yes, we have the power to change our habits and strengthen our focus.
Okay, so how do we do that?
Well, the first step is awareness, just recognizing these effects.
Right?
And then we can start implementing some strategies.
Like what?
Well, a simple one is setting screen time limits.
Screen time limits.
Yeah, most phones have built-in tools for this.
Oh, yeah, I've seen those.
You can track your usage and set limits for specific apps.
So maybe start with reducing your scrolling time by just 10 or 15 minutes each day.
Exactly. Small changes can make a big difference over time.
It's like a little digital detox.
And another strategy is the practice of deep work.
Deep work? What's that?
It's about setting aside dedicated blocks of time, maybe 25 to 30 minutes,
Okay.
where you focus intently on one task without any distractions.
So no phone, no notifications, nothing.
Exactly. Just you and the task at hand.
And what kind of tasks are we talking about?
It could be reading, writing, studying.
Or practicing English.
Exactly. Anything that requires sustained focus.
Okay, I like it.
And there's a popular technique called the Pomodoro technique.
Pomodoro.
Yeah, you work for 25 minutes, then take a 5-minute break.
It's like a timer for your focus.
Exactly. It helps train your brain to stay on track.
So we've got screen time limits, deep work.
What else?
What about replacing some of that short form video time?
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
with longer content.
Right, instead of scrolling for 15 minutes,
Listen to a podcast.
read an article.
Watch a documentary.
Exactly, something that requires more attention and engagement.
And here's a thought. Make that content English.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah. You'll be working on your focus and improving your English at the same time.
It's a win-win.
Now, I know you can't completely avoid those short-form videos.
Right, they're everywhere.
So here's another tip.
Okay.
Be intentional about how you use those platforms.
Intentional.
Yeah, like instead of just passively scrolling, actively seek out and follow English learning accounts or creators.
On Instagram, TikTok,
YouTube. Exactly that way. Even if you do find yourself scrolling,
you might actually learn something.
you're turning that scrolling time into a learning opportunity.
I love that.
And to put all of this into practice, try this simple challenge.
I'm listening.
Just for today, replace 15 minutes of your usual scrolling
Okay.
with reading an English news article
Okay.
or watching a short English documentary.
Sounds good.
And while you're doing it, pay attention to any new words or phrases you come across. Maybe even write them down.
That's a great way to reinforce the learning.
Exactly. So try it out and see how it feels.
Compare it to your usual scrolling session.
So to wrap things up, we've looked at how short-form video platforms can impact our brains.
Especially our focus and how we learn.
And we've explored some practical ways to take back control.
Like setting screen time limits, practicing deep work.
And consuming longer English content.
The goal is to help you understand these effects and take action.
So here's a final thought to leave you with.
Okay.
In this world that's constantly vying for our attention, what other small, deliberate changes can you make
In your daily routine
to improve your focus?
and deepen your learning.
It's something to think about.
Definitely food for thought.
Thanks for joining us on the Deep Dive.
It's been a pleasure.
Until next time.
See you then.